Hello farmers, welcome to Farming Simulator 2015. I am jealous. It's a nickname that stuck with me through my service years. First initial, last name that you have to put on everything. This is my first attempt at a video. I have no idea what I'm doing, so bear with me if it doesn't sound right or if the editing's wrong. It's my first attempt, but hopefully it helps you out. I am going to show you how I made my money. I see a lot of videos online about how to harvest, people playing and harvesting and stuff like that, but no, it doesn't really show you how to do things like how to make money, how to plant trees, how to make your own forest. That's what I'm going to do. Maybe down the line I'll show you how you feed pigs and cows and other stuff like that. But I think this is an important aspect of the game now. Is to make money to buy better equipment. I am on a modded map. It's called the Westbridge Forest version 2 map. It is similar to the Westbridge Hills map that comes with the game, except it has a lot of forest, a lot more trees, and it has a mod for the beef and the pork selling. So let's get to it here. I picked on my map 1 and 2, fields 1 and 2 to do my forest. I split one up right here. I planted grass right here so I wouldn't have a really big forest, but just this little bit and this little bit gives me about 400 trees. As you can see, there's a lot of forest around here, but it's just hard to get to with the big equipment and stuff like that, so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to plant my own trees. So that's what I did, and that's what this video is going to be about. As you can see, this is where I plant. I planted grass to split field 1 up, and here is my forest, which is growing right now, and my other forest is growing over here too. And like I said, there's like 400 trees. Now this field over here I've already chopped down and sold in a couple times and probably made 10 million or so, something like that. So I'm going to show you how to plant these fields without any mods except for the map, but you can do it on any map that you want. And a key thing is to pick the right place first. Foremost is that you want to plant your trees close to the lumberyard, and here's the lumberyard, and this is the field where I got trees here and here, and close to the garden center where you can get pallets of the seedlings, the trees, the little small trees, and the garden center is right here. Well, I'm going to stop this video and cut to a new map with nothing in it except for the equipment I need to plant these trees. I am back. And I'm on a new map. There ain't nothing on here except for the equipment I need. I bought 1 and 2. I'm going to plant some trees in 1, but at this bottom section here. So I'm going to plant some grass right here to split up 1. And I want to make 1, almost like a perfect square or rectangular. So if I harvest it, it'd be a lot easier to harvest it on a square than an L shape or upside down L shape. So I guess this video is about not just planting, but how to split a field up. On my main, I split up 11, 13, and 7. 7 right here, 13 right here, 11 here, and here. So basically, I could harvest smaller fields, and I would have like a 20-foot section of grass right where the roads are at, so I can drive tractors and trucks, and it wouldn't get in the way of other things harvesting. So when you plant and split a field up, make sure you put a big enough thing of grass, a lane of grass, so harvests don't run into each other or don't run into trees that you planted or other tractors. Anyway, so I'm at that little corner section, and I like to use the smallest planter available to do grass, to get the edges, because the bigger ones you might mess up, so I want to line it up as close as I can. That's pretty good. Higher. and he's going to plant a section of grass. Now this is the modded map, so the grass ain't going to come until a little bit later. There it is. Well, da-dee-da-da-da. I'm also going to use this planter for something else, which I'll explain later. On higher. Okay, go back over here. Find out where this curve stops, and it stops about there. So that I hire them because they usually go in a straight line, no matter where they're at. So, then another blade of grass here, and in between these two is going to be all grass. So that's about good 20 feet. So nothing's going to get in the way if I harvest that upper section of field one. Higher. Then you can just get a bigger guy here. Oh, come on. There we go. Unfold. And higher. So this is how you split a field up. Pretty simple. Oh, he's gonna go. Well, I guess I gotta unhire him. He's gonna go the wrong way. So unhire him. Hopefully I can get this in one swipe. I think I might be able to. Hire. And I can. Unhire. Alright. As you can see, now this field is split into two. Let's take a look at map. You can see it's growing. So now field one is actually two sections. A little small one and a nice little perfect rectangular for harvesting or putting anything else. Okay. Next thing you need to do is cultivate it if it's not already cultivated, which it already is. And the key thing I do after that is I use a plow. Now, I use a plow, as you can see here. The left side of this field, I've already plowed to let you know that with the small plow that just hooks up to the back, which is this one, doesn't get pulled. It just, it just attaches to the back and drops down. The blue one over here actually gets pulled behind it. As you can see, it misses a lot of the section of the field. But the small one, it doesn't. It misses just a little bit of section. But that little bit of those little squares is where I plant a 6 foot or a 3 meter line of grass where I know where to plant my trees, which I will show you. So I usually just go right down the middle of this little triangle where the blade missed. So let's do this whole field with this plow, because the plow just helps me get that line up for the fields. So you just go to the edge here and higher. Yeah, with that bigger plow, the one that gets pulled behind, it just misses a lot. I need those little sections, those little triangle misses, because that's where I plant some grass. And it's a lot easier to plant trees when you have a straight line. And you'll see that when this whole field is done. You're not going to see it. I'm just going to show you a couple passes here to show you what happens with this plow. And you can see it's going to leave a little square, or square, triangle, square, right there. And that's what I use to plant some grass. And you'll see what I'm talking about later on. Okay, I'm going to stop this again and come back when this field is all plowed. I finished plowing, and like I told you before, the reason why I plow is so I have these little markers, those little triangle things right here, right where the front of my thing is. That's where I plant a lane of grass, because that is where I plant my trees at. To give you, oh, wrong screen. Plow I use is cannot plows. Oh, because it's screen. This one right here. It's only 2.5 meters. This one wouldn't work. This one could work, but at 2 meters, that means those little triangles would be closer together. And I usually go, you'll see I usually plant my lane of grass every other triangle, so I have some space to drive trucks through and equipment. So the smaller it is, that means those markers are closer together, and I don't know if they make a bigger one that just hooks onto the end like that. So if it's a bigger one, then they'll be bigger, so that probably wouldn't be a problem. But ones that actually have wheels, like right here, they get pulled behind, they don't work. But for some reason, if your markers get screwed up, you can just re-cultivate it, which I'm going to do with this guy on this field. So like this guy messed up over here, so if you just recultivate it, you can start all over. So clean this back up, and see, it just erases it and start over. Oh, crap. I gotta get this stuff out of the way. Oops. So, let's move this equipment. This one no good. It's out of the way. Alright, now to plant my section of trees. So I need my small planter. And with these plows and planters, just make sure you have a tractor that can do the job and a weight in front of it. So this planter, on screen again, is sewing machines. This one right here. So, yeah. And the reason I use this one, because 3 meters is about the width of the tractor, so it's pretty easy to go a straight line when you're planting a tree. And you'll see that. So, let's just go to the front. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Crap. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 markers, so the middle one is 6. Which I think is this one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, actually. So that way I can split the field exactly in half. So basically my first line of trees would be right down the middle of the field. So I got 5 on each side. Okay. What I do is just line them up about right in the middle. That marker. Higher. And he's going to plant a row of grass. And that is where I plant my trees at. On the other end, if the hired guy did his plowing correct, it will actually it'll go in between the 2 markers. Yep, and I'm going right in between them. Perfect. On higher, because if you keep on him higher, he will actually do the whole field in grass. So just hire him to go straight for that one lane. So I'm just going to go back where I started. I'm going to skip 1 marker. So it leaves me some room. You can actually put it on the next one if you want a lot of trees. This way I just have some spacing in down the middle of my marker. Higher. And I will just do, I think, 3 of them here. Then I'll plant the trees. And he's clearing up the mistakes he made over there earlier when I was setting this all up. Too bad you can't speed up hired help. And he's coming in between. And higher, and I guess I could do it where if I'm going to skip 1, basically be the middle here. So I can just go in between these 2 and I'll be like pretty good. Sure I'm between. Pretty good. And I should come out right on top of the marker on the other side. Hire you. Just say you can put a line on each of those markers if you want more trees. Like I said, I plant the grass because where I plant my trees is right down that green lane. And it's just a lot easier to plant because you can't hire help. You actually got to do it manually. And it just keeps your tractor straight following that green line. So you can do more if you want. I just leave a little bit of room for everything. So I guess I don't need a disc jack because I got a tractor over at the garden center. Next thing you need to do is go to the garden center and buy, well, it's $40. So buy 4 we are. Up the planter. You can get a flatbed trailer and front loader and buy a whole bunch of those and put them on the front loader or on the trailer and bring them to wherever field you're at. Or like me, this field's way too big just in front of me. I could have planted trees there and it would have been a lot easier, but it's just too big of a field and it's farther away from the lumber mill. Or another thing is, if you like the biogas heating, if you make wood chips, you can make your forest down there too. So get next to it. There we go. And this planter is just one of the, comes with the game. It's in the forestry. There it is. You do need a weight, and it says it needs a 100 horsepower tractor, so just make sure you have the big enough tractor. Okay, and off to my field. Yeah, this field was too big too for making a forest. I guess I could just plant from this end. And you can see how I do it. I just drive down this. It just makes it so much simpler for straight trees. I line up the tail end where it starts, because usually it starts planting right where that box, right where the pallet is. We'll see. For it. And right on the end for it. Turn it on. Set my auto speed. And there we go. And I just got to drive. Keep the tractor straight in the green. Now without this green here, you probably wouldn't have a straight line of trees. Of course, it makes this field unharvestable, but with the forest, you'll make a lot more money than actually planting in wheat or corn. Goes pretty slow. Now there are 3 stages of these trees, 3 more stages for these trees' growth. I think it takes like a day or 2 days for each stage. It is, so there's this when you plant them, and there's small, medium, and full grown. So there's 3 other stages. So it might take a week for the trees to get full grown. But I think after the first stage you can cut them down, but they're not worth as much. And there's not many wood chips if you decide to make them into wood chips. I'll try to show each stage of that maybe, once I get them grown. Once the last tree gets planted, when it gets close to the edge and it gets planted there, I'll stop, lift it up, and I still got 4 left. So I'll put the 4 in the middle here. Right, when you stop it, once you stop the planter, they'll plant that first tree for it. Right at the end of that pallet, right where you see that the sapling. So if I show you where it gets planted once I start planting, so turn, it's already on, set my auto, see it pop out there. So that'll help you line up the next tree if your pallet is like full. I mean, not full. If I do that next row over, there'll be 4 left, and if I want to make them line up with this middle row again, it helps to know where they get planted. Okay, it's done. Done there. Okay. Let's go back. There is a mod that you can do plant 3 of them at a time, and I'm actually going to show you that mod because it helps. I gotta go back to the garden center, just far away. And I'll show you that mod here in a bit. So I go to it. I already have it over at the garden center. That's what the thing is, to make sure you are near the garden center for this, because you need a lot of saplings. I guess for this tutorial I should have did the field right next to it, but since I already know how to do my other field, I stuck with what I know. Okay. Alright, this mod, it's under, is it miscellaneous? Can't remember. This is the name of it. So if you look at this name, pause it, you need this. And I think it comes with this weight, which is a 3,600 pound weight. Because without it, you actually do wheelies, so you need the weight. And what it does is it pulls 3 planters behind you, so you can plant 3 rows at a time. So I will show you that. Hook it up. Gotta unfold it. And attach it. Attach to that one, back up, attach the middle one, and attach. See, I got them all 3 attached and I'm riding a wheelie, and that might not be good. So let's attach, and you can see the bottom corner where all my attachments, there's 3 things in there. That's my planters, and need to switch it to that one so I can attach that, because I'm going to need this big heavy weight. Now with that on, you can see that I got no truncheon on my rear. I cannot drive. I just slide all over the place because I'm front heavy. To attach it, then I can drive okay. We're all good, not popping a wheelie. It's a big weight. So, fill, and I got to back up in there in the middle, refill, fill. With 3 of them, it operates the same way as one, but you got to lower each one, you got to start each planter. So it's kind of a pain in the ass, but if you got a lot of saplings already loaded on a trailer outside, it might speed things up a little bit. So I'm going to show you this mod. If you remember on my intro, that big forest, I used this 3-thing planter. And the small forest I had, I just used a single row planter. And he cleared that field up pretty good. Look, all his mistakes with that other plow is fixed. Where did I start? I started from down here. Let's start from down here so I'm somewhere. Basically line it up where the edges are right, and okay, good. I got to change my attachment, lower it, and turn it on. Change my attachment, lower it, turn it on. Change my attachment again, lower it, turn it on. Make sure all of them are turned on. Oh, yep, they're all on. I'm good to go. So, let's do auto speed. There you can see, it's planting 3 trees at once. It takes some time to do this, but like I said, you can plant a couple hundred trees, maybe 30 minutes, and in a week you have a couple hundred trees, and that's millions if your farm doesn't have a lot of trees. And while you're waiting to grow, you can do your harvesting. And they're pretty lined up, because I started them at the same time, so plants, yep, lined up pretty good. And the ones in the middle, I planted those 4 aren't, because I started on the opposite end where I started these. Oh crap! Whoops. Whoops, that's what happens when you don't pay attention. See, now they're not lined up. See, showing you that, I messed up. But, hey, what good is a video without a mess up? See, pay attention to what you're doing, otherwise you're not going to be... So that's good. Alright, so I messed up. So I have to raise each attachment. Raise. Or left. All 3 of these are good. Now let's say that I wanted to make sure that these line up with the ones I planted before and these middle ones aren't, because I did put it from the wrong end. Find out where these are at and kind of line up the trees that are on the pallet, trees that have been planted. That will be pretty close. So I need to lower. That's already on. Next one, we'll next already on. I do 3. Get planted pretty close right away. So that's how you line up trees from pallets that you didn't waste them all off of. Oh, they get planted pretty close. And it's done. See? Turn it up. Turn off. Next one up. Turn it up. Lift it up. It's a pain in the ass with 3 of them. But they plant, 3 times as many trees in the same amount of time. One thing about this mod I know is when I save a game, if you still have them all connected to that attachment, once you log back in the game, they'll be rolling around across the whole map because you can fold them. Right now, if I go to that attachment and if I fold, it'll fold together. See that? And that's what happens when you save it, is it thinks it's still not, it just messes it up. So if you do use this mod, make sure you detach everything. Otherwise, you'll never find them again because they'll be on the other side of the map and flipping out and doing crazy stuff. So make sure that you detach everything. So, to attach, and you want to fold this back up and attach, and detach the weight too. And you're good to go if you use that mod, because it does crazy stuff when it's all attached. Alright, so my trees are all planted, except for my little mess up. As you can see now, they're not lined up because I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, I will come back once they started growing just to show you the different stages of growth. I finished planting those trees on Monday. Is Thursday morning. So what is that? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days. So actually they finished last night, so it was about last night, but it was dark out, so I didn't want to record when it was dark. So about 3 days, 2.5 days for them to reach this stage right here, which is the small stage. There is medium growth and then the full grown. So there's 2 other stages. So it takes about a week for them to grow, but you can still cut them down. But you're not going to get much. Maybe. Yeah, I can cut these branches off. Well, you can actually cut them down now, but you're not going to get much. There is the little blue dot. There, see? Can cut them down. You can see why I do the little patch of grass. So it keeps, so I have a little path to do everything straight. As you can see, they're pretty straight. And the ones that are 3 are straight, except for that little mess up I did. I wasn't paying attention, but if I go past that, you can see that these 3 are, they're all straight, they're all lined up. If you start from the same side, they should be lined up this way too. They are. That one isn't. These aren't, because I actually started from down this end. Plant these, so those ain't going to be lined up. But you're going to cut them down anyway. So, but if you're OCD like me, it kind of would bother you. But anyway, this is the next stage of growth. It takes about a week for them to fully grow. If you go to the map, you can see that my grass is ready to harvest, so the grass are planted, and you see my strips of grass right here too. Alright, I will be back. Saturday afternoon, and this is the next level of tree, second stage of growth. It's another 2.5 days, so it's just over a week for full growth. So if you got the patience for them to wait for them to grow, then this is the way to go. And another thing is, at first when I started making my own forest, I thought these were full grown, so I started cutting them down and selling them and wondering why I'm not getting enough money, and realized after I came back a couple days to my forest they were bigger. So just remember, these are not bigger, they get bigger. And another thing is that if you want to play legit, this is the way to do it. Now you can go and do it this way by not these, the ferns work, bowlers work just because there's no branches, they're easier to cut. You can place all the ferns. There's one, there's one, there's one. Let's just do that. You can do that. Cost 7,000 to do it, and then you can cut them down. But getting them spaced out right. But if you're just going to cut them right down, but you know, spending 7,000 for an instant grown tree, it seems kind of cheating. So you want to play legit, plant your own forest, and you're good to go. Next thing, it would be the final growth. So I will be back. Whoops, I will be back then. It's Tuesday morning. The trees finished last night. Monday night, it was a snowstorm, but nighttime is difficult to see, so I just waited till Tuesday. So it took, and I started them the following Monday afternoon. I finished, so it's about 7.5 days. So for each stage, there's 3 other stages. It's like 2.5 days to finish. How I made my money to start was I sold everything, so I didn't have to worry about harvesting. I planted a whole bunch of trees, and the only thing I needed to plant the trees was the plow. So I could mark those little triangles so I knew where to plant my grass. Little lane of grass so my tractor would stay straight while I planted my seedlings. A tractor with the weight and this planter. That's all you need. And then speed up time, and in 7 days you'll have a forest. I don't think the speed growth affects plant growth. Does not affect trees. I've tested it, and it seemed it's still 2.5 days, no matter if that's on normal or fast. So that doesn't really matter. Another thing is, if you do decide to use the mod, for that 3-row planter, which comes with this attachment, so you can attach 3 planters and this big weight. Just remember that it actually puts them pretty close together. So if I did this row, which I did, if I did the next row, we can go down here. See, it gets kind of crowded down here. So that's up to you. You can actually space it out and do it every other green line if you want, but then you have to go back and get a whole bunch of seedlings too. But either or, I just did basically 1 row until I actually found that online, and Now, when I cut trees, I just go down a line at the end, cut them all down. But you get the point. That's how I made my forest. Hopefully it helps. Next thing I got to do is edit and see if I can get this finished for you. And the next one could be maybe me cutting these down, or maybe correctly feeding cows for milk, or cows and pigs for slaughter. Seems like there's not enough videos out there to show people how to do it correctly. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully it helped. Have a good day.